A weapon that costs less than a used motorcycle is helping destroy machines worth millions. That is the brutal math rewriting the war in Ukraine. For years, the tank was supposed to dominate the battlefield. Thick armor, heavy guns, raw power. But in this war, something smaller, cheaper, and adaptable keeps finding the weak spot. It dives through smoke, slips past cover, hunts moving armor, and turns some of Russia's tanks into burning metal. And the worst part for Moscow is this: the weapon is evolving faster than armies can react. Today, we are talking about the FPV drone, the first-person view attack drone that has become one of the deadliest tank killers in Ukraine. In recent months of the war, a NATO official told Foreign Policy that more than 2/3 of Russian tanks destroyed by Ukraine had been taken out by FPV drones. Reuters also reported in February 2026 that drones now dominate the battlefield so thoroughly that they threaten everything from assaults to evacuations. This is no longer just a supporting weapon. It is changing how armor moves, how infantry survives, and how entire offensives are planned. And once you understand why, you will see why Russia cannot fully stop it. Chapter 1. The tiny weapon with the giant impact. At first glance, an FPV drone does not look like a weapon that should terrify tank crews. Many are built from components, use small electric motors, and carry an explosive payload that can be modified depending on the target. The operator sees through an onboard camera, flying it almost like a racing drone. Except this one ends its mission by slamming into armor, hatches, engines, tracks, or exposed weak points. That combination is what makes it so dangerous. It is cheap, it is precise, and it does not need to destroy a tank in the Hollywood sense to be effective. Blowing a track, damaging optics, hitting the engine deck, or forcing a crew to abandon the vehicle can be enough. On a battlefield where movement is constantly watched, a disabled tank can quickly become a dead tank. Reuters described this drone-heavy environment as one where ground movement itself has become increasingly dangerous. And this is where the balance changes. Russia can build, recover, and repair armored vehicles. But when a cheap drone can repeatedly force an expensive platform out of action, the economics become ugly quickly. Chapter 2. Why tanks became easier prey. The tank is not obsolete, but in Ukraine, it has been dragged into a battlefield it was never designed for. Armor warfare assumed that if you kept moving, used terrain properly, and coordinated with infantry and artillery, you could survive. But drones have created constant overhead observation. That means vehicles are spotted sooner, tracked longer, and attacked more precisely. Rusi noted in 2025 that armor use near the front had sharply declined compared with earlier phases of the war, a reflection of how dangerous the drone environment had become. The battlefield is now layered with threats. A tank can be seen by reconnaissance drones, geolocated, and then attacked by artillery, loitering munitions, or FPV teams. Even if it survives the first strike, it may be hit again minutes later. Ukraine has repeatedly leaned on FPV drones to compensate for shortages in artillery ammunition, according to the Critical Threats Project. That matters because tanks were built to withstand certain kinds of fire. They were not built for a world in which a human operator, watching live video, can steer an explosive charge directly into a weak point. Chapter 3. Why Russia cannot simply jam them all. So why not just use electronic warfare and shut the drones down? Russia has tried, and sometimes it works. Jamming, spoofing, signal disruption, camouflage, anti-drone guns, shotgun-style defenses, cope cages over turrets, and layered air defense measures have all been part of the answer. But the problem is scale. Both sides are producing and using drones in staggering numbers. US Army analysis in early 2026 said both Russia and Ukraine could produce roughly 40,000 to 50,000 tactical drones per week, while Russian forces were using thousands of FPV drones daily. That volume overwhelms simple solutions. Even a countermeasure can fail when dozens of drones appear across a sector, and the drones themselves keep adapting. Reuters and AP have both reported on how fast drone tactics and defensive measures are evolving, while recent reporting shows Russia itself shifting toward fiber optic controlled drones because radio-linked drones can be jammed. That tells you everything. If one of the answers to drones is jamming, and both sides are moving towards systems designed to bypass jamming, then the contest is no longer about stopping the last generation of drones. It is about surviving the next one. Chapter 4: The Psychology of the Hunt. There is another reason this weapon has been so effective, and it is not just technical. It is psychological. Tank crews now know they can be watched at nearly any moment. They know a drone may already be in the air before they see it. They know hiding under trees, behind ruined buildings, or along a tree line is no guarantee. That changes behavior. Crews become more cautious. Movements slow down. Routes become predictable. Recovery operations become dangerous. Even evacuating the wounded can attract attack. Reuters reported that drones now threaten not only assaults, but evacuations as well. And once fear enters the system, the effect spreads. Infantry does not want to move near exposed armor. Logistics teams hesitate. Commanders delay pushes. A weapon does not need to destroy every tank to shape the battlefield. Sometimes it only needs to make armor too risky to use the way it was intended. That is exactly what FPV drones have done. Chapter 5: Russia adapts. But adaptation is not victory. To be fair, Russia is not standing still. It has increased drone production, improved electronic warfare, fielded more layered defenses, and changed how it uses vehicles. RUSY observed that Russia has shifted towards smaller, more flexible assault teams, in part because persistent UAV surveillance and attack have made large mechanized formations far more vulnerable. In other words, the drone threat has already forced tactical change. But adaptation is not the same thing as solving the problem. Chapter 6: The Real Lesson of This War. The biggest story here is not just that drones are destroying tanks. It is that cost, speed, and adaptation are beating mass and tradition. For decades, armies invested enormous sums into elite platforms, armor, and procurement cycles. Ukraine's FPV drone war has shown that an improvised system, updated in workshops and modified near the front, can create battlefield effects out of proportion to its price. CSIS described the war as a laboratory of relentless drone innovation, with systems getting larger, smarter, and more integrated from 2022 through 2025. That should worry every army in the world, because the lesson is not limited to Russia. Any force relying on armored vehicles without dense counter-drone protection is now exposed. Any military that assumes expensive platforms alone guarantee dominance is taking a serious risk. The tank is not gone, but its age of confidence is. The FPV drone is not just destroying tanks, it is destroying assumptions. If you enjoyed this video, drop your thoughts in the comments. Is the tank still king, or has the drone taken the crown? And if you want more high-stakes breakdowns like this, stay tuned for the next one.